It's hard to embrace the struggle. It's hard to take ownership. Well, let's talk about why. Because I believe there are 3 reasons as to why we struggle to take ownership. Number 1, we wrestle with the fear of failure. We fear looking foolish. You see, we'd rather stay stuck than start small. The humble beginnings. We talk about it, we plan about it, we pray about it, but we never move. Because, hey, the devil we know is better than the devil we don't, right? I love this quote from Virginia Satir, which you've heard me share before. Most people prefer the certainty of misery to the misery of uncertainty. Let me say that again. Most people prefer the certainty of misery versus the misery of uncertainty. They would rather stay in a situation where they're certain they're going to be unhappy than face a not knowing what's around the other corner, because it could get worse. But friend, what if it gets better? The second reason we wrestle with ownership is because of the illusion of time. You see, we tell ourselves, when things slow down, then I'll start. But I love the old Chinese proverb that says the best time to plant an oak tree was 20 years ago. The second best time is today. Brother, you will never have more time than what you have right now. You'll never have more time than what you have right now. And so we wait and we waste time all day. And we make ourselves busy. Doing this, doing that, doing everything other than the thing we know we should do. But busyness has become the socially acceptable excuse for mediocrity. Here's what happens. And hear me say this. This was me, and sometimes this is me. We all fall into this trap, okay? I'm in it with you, brother. But what happens is we spread ourselves so thin for the sake of busyness that we end up becoming mediocre at everything and truly great at nothing. But the problem is this leads to temporary feelings of accomplishment. We feel good in the moment because we're busy. How are things going, man? Oh, busy. I'm busy. I'm real busy. But over the long term, it leads to frustration and bitterness, because if you're honest with yourself, deep down, if you know that if you really double down on those 1 or 2 or 3 things, you could truly be great. You could truly have a great marriage. You could see that business success. You could lose that 30 pounds. You could really have that devoted prayer life and that closeness with God that you've always wanted. But what do we do instead? We do 100 good things, and we sacrifice the 1 or 2 great things. And this is why, as that old adage goes, good is the enemy of great. Good will always be the enemy of great. The third reason we struggle with ownership is the comfort of excuses. You see, excuses let us keep our dignity while avoiding our destiny. Come on, I'm going to say that again. Excuses let us keep our dignity while avoiding our destiny. You see, they sound smart and maybe even spiritual sometimes, but they keep us in the trap of playing small. Just waiting on it. Right? I hear all the time. You know, you guys listening know I'm a person of faith. I spent many years in pastoral ministry as a pastor. A lot of people say, well, I'm waiting on God, just waiting on God. I'm going to pray, waiting on God. Oh, great. Well, yeah, God speaks to you, right? For sure. But God has also given you a brain to think. And He's also given you hands to move. And He's also given you a sound mind and dreams and visions that you can act on yourself. And yeah, sometimes it's important to wait on God, for sure. Don't get me wrong. But sometimes I feel like we're like praying, throwing up prayers, and He's like, just do something, man. I want to tell you about something that I've just launched, okay? Because if your marriage is feeling flat, if your marriage is feeling a little disconnected, maybe just a little routine lately, maybe you want more fire, more intimacy, more passion, I'm going to tell you about this tool that I believe is going to help thousands of men reignite the connection in their marriage again. And it's called the Spark Starter Kit. Literally just launched this a couple days ago. It's not some big course or some complex relationship program or a big time commitment. In fact, it's actually quite the opposite. It's fast, it's nimble, it's light, and you can implement it immediately. It's completely plug and play, literally. And here's why I built it, because so many of my clients are high performers who are strapped for time. They don't always have the right words to say. They don't have time to ruminate over a text message to get it right. to perfectly craft the perfect message, and they don't have time to plan out date nights. They need to focus their time and energy on their business. And so if this sounds like you, I built this tool for you. So like I said, if you struggle to find the time and energy to plan date nights, if you find yourself stuck not knowing what to say or how to respond to your wife over text, or maybe you find that the conversation feels a little flat or dull, then I want you to lean in with me for a moment, okay? This Spark Starter Kit is essentially your romance on autopilot for an entire year, okay? Listen, here's what it is. It's 365 Spark text templates. These are text templates that you can copy and paste and personalize so you say the right thing every single time without overthinking. And there are pre-written texts for every situation, whether you want to flirt with her, trigger desire, express gratitude and appreciation, you want to encourage her, appreciate her, or if you need to repair and reconnect, or if you want to sort of look at how to reverse that polarity and step into your masculinity as a man and practice that leadership piece. There are text messages, 365 for all of these situations. There's 52 plug-and-play date night blueprints. One powerful date per week already planned for you, and they're planned in lots of different categories. So for when time is tight, for when you want to go all out, you got that big date energy going, or when you're both tired, you want a night in, or when you both need to reignite the spark. Pre-built for you. All you got to do is read it and follow the instructions. There's 100 Spark Starter questions. These are conversation prompts that rebuild emotional intimacy fast. This is a big struggle for men. I know this to be true because I see it in all of my clients and I hear from it in all of my followers. And the last thing, which I love, is a 3-part romance reset mini course, which teaches you exactly how to rebuild connection, restore the polarity, and reignite desire in your relationship. And all of this costs less than a bouquet of flowers. That, let's be real, is probably going to die within a week. Okay? You can put it all on autopilot for an entire year, man. I've designed this to be over the top with crazy deliverables. So if you're ready to take the pressure off and bring the spark back, okay, go check it out at sparkstarterkit.com. Okay? You don't have to wait till after the episode. You can hit the show links or hit the link in the show notes below right now, okay? And go get it. Right now it's, I think, $27. It might change. It's probably the cheapest it's ever going to be. But trust me, friend, this is the easiest way to start leading with intentionality and get that fire back in your relationship. I mean, that's one of several excuses we give. But here's the thing. I want you to ask yourself this. Which of these excuses has been keeping you from climbing your next mountain? Be honest with yourself, right? Because, hey, you're not cheating anyone else but yourself. I don't know what the answer is to that, but only you do, right? And only you know if you don't answer it. Because ownership begins with honesty. All right, let's move on. Because you might be listening to this and you're like, maybe I'm not taking ownership. Maybe there are certain areas in my life that I'm not taking ownership. And I know there's going to be some of you who are like certain, oh yeah, that's me, 100%. But if you're here and you're listening and you're wondering, is that me? Here are 3 signs that there's an area of your life that you're not taking ownership, okay? And if you've ever thought any of these 3 things, it's going to be a sign that you've maybe given away your power. Okay, number 1, you get stuck in the blame loop where you say things like, man, if she would just blank, or if he would just blank. If your wife, your boss, your business partner would just change, things would be fine. But when you outsource responsibility, you also outsource your growth. Number 2 sign, all right, the delay mindset. If you've ever thought, well, once things slow down, I'll blank. But the problem with this, as I've said earlier, is you keep postponing your purpose, waiting for the perfect season, not realizing that perfection is a lie the enemy uses to keep you idle. Remember what I said earlier, confidence is the result, not the requirement. There is no such thing as the perfect time. It does not exist. All right, number 3, and perhaps my personal favorite, what I call the false humility. I don't know what to do. I don't know what to do. What happens is you confuse uncertainty with inability. You think, I don't know. I don't have the steps. I don't have the information. I don't have the details. I don't have the resources. I don't know what to do. It's just little on me. What am I going to, how can I can't do this on my own. But listen, men don't wait for clarity. They create clarity. All right. You've been waiting all day. Clarity will not come. We create clarity by taking action. Listen, it is never, I feel like a broken record. I've said this so much this week, but it has never been more easy to get access to the information and the resources you need to level up in any area. Tony Robbins said this years ago, but it's still true today. Our greatest challenge as a generation is not our lack of resources, but our lack of resourcefulness. You have resources all around you, but do you have the resourcefulness to take advantage of it? I was on a coaching call this week with a client, and we were talking a little bit about this. And I was explaining to him that we need 3 ingredients to see significant change in any area of our lives. You can write this down if you want. We need information, organization, and implementation. In that order. Information, organization, and implementation. The good news is you already have 2 of the 3 of those things. You literally have all of the information in the universe at your fingertips, aka artificial intelligence, ChatGPT, OpenAI, whatever. Pick your flavor of AI bot at this point. And you can command it to organize it in the best way for consumption, application, execution, all those things. So you've got the organization piece. The last piece is the thing that only you can do, which is implementation. Brother, even this podcast is 2 of the 3 for you. I'm giving you the information. I've used organization to piece it all together in the right sequence for you. And now all you have to do is take care of the implementation. And here's the reality. And I can say this because I work with high performers all the time, all day. I talk with them, I coach them. And the sad reality is many high performers are owners at work, but they're victims at home. Now, there's a lot of reasons for this. But some reasons, are societal, some reasons are cultural, some reasons are because of their upbringing and blah, 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 blah. But at the end of the day, a lot of these guys end up leading their teams and avoiding leading their family. You see, they run meetings, but they hide from their emotions. So I want us to talk about what happens when you stay there in that rut. Because entitlement doesn't just stall your progress, it actually drains your soul. And I know this because I struggled with it for years. Like I told you, for 3 years, I wrestled with this. My friend, if this hit home for you today, don't stop here. The full episode dives even deeper. So click right here to watch it now. Trust me, this might be the conversation that changes everything for you.